Hey, Reality Drew here, back with another episode of the Roundup series where I talk about multiple things in regards to the Second Amendment. I don't go into great detail, but rather I just big picture it. Series more intended for those who maybe don't have as much time on their hands, but still want to stay informed around the Second Amendment. That's what I do here. Today on the Roundup, we're going to be talking about a couple more firearm-related bills that have been submitted federally. Gun control in Minnesota, and talking about constitutional carry in a couple states. All right, before I get into it, I'm going to say I'm still a little bit sick, so bear with me. And also, I don't know if I'll be back next week or not. Getting my wisdom teeth removed, so we'll see how well I'm able to speak in the next few days, next week. So anyway, all that being said, we're going to get into it right now. Okay, up first, we're going to be talking about two federal bills related to firearms that have been submitted recently. Okay. First, we're going to be talking about HR 1145, okay? This is going to be the new federal safe storage bill, okay? So obviously there's a safe storage bill submitted every session. They want to get this passed federally. Many states already have these laws on the state level. And it's just terrible, right? It's unconstitutional. Obviously, the government's looking to tell you what to do in your own home with your own items, okay? Unconstitutional. Also, it just doesn't make much sense because safe storage is different for everybody, right? Maybe you live alone. In that case, locking doors should be good enough. If you have children, maybe you do want to lock them up, but that's on you to decide as a responsible gun owner, right? It's not on the government to tell you that, and they shouldn't be telling you how to do that. So that's a bad bill. Be aware of it. Obviously I've been updating people, throwing updates in these roundups rather on some different bills, good and bad, that have been being submitted. This is a bad one. It's, like I said, be aware of it. HR 1145, safe storage requirements. Okay. Now, the other one is supposed to be a good thing, I think, right? On its face, it sounds like a good thing. Okay, so we're talking about HR 1095. That's going to be a bill to declare the AR-15 style rifle the national rifle of the United States of America. Okay, now you hear that right there and you think, oh, that's kind of good, right? I'll talk about that, right? First of all, though, to state the obvious, this is not going to pass this session. It just I don't see it happening. Let me know if you disagree, but I don't think this has a chance. Okay, now to talk about it a little bit. Yes, that sounds good on its face. I think if hypothetically if this was to pass, I think immediately it might be a good thing. However, I think in the long run, this would do more bad than good for the Second Amendment community, right? Because obviously these Democrats want to ban so-called assault weapons. Okay, well, this might give them potentially more grounds to do that, right? Because they might be able to be in something along the lines of like, oh, well, we'll let you keep the AR-15 since it's the national rifle, but we're going to take everything else, all your AKs, all your whatever else it may be, right? Anything other than an AR-15. I think it might give them more grounds to potentially do that, which is a bad thing. Obviously, that would hurt the Second Amendment in the long run. Also, when we're talking about potential assault weapon bans, right? Well, for example, the California compliant AR is still an AR-15, right? This doesn't even necessarily protect the features of an AR-15, like the pistol grip or the collapsible stock or the muzzle brake, list goes on, right? So I don't think this is gonna really do much to help the Second Amendment. It might even go on to hurt it. And for that reason, I really don't think this is necessary. I don't think this is necessarily a good bill. I do think there's good intentions behind it. I think it would be good initially, but I think it would eventually come to make things worse for the Second Amendment. But, that's my opinion. Let me know your opinion on this bill, H.R. 1095. Let me know your opinion, but this ain't going to pass anyways. At least I don't think so. Anyway, we're going to move on from this topic. Okay, so now we're talking about Minnesota. All right, so, I often on my channel try to talk about, I don't talk as much about states that are already just absolutely terrible for gun control, like California, New York, New Jersey. I do talk about them a little, but I try to talk more about states that are looking to go from pretty good on the Second Amendment to bad, or from bad to terrible, right? Like Washington, Oregon, Michigan, like even Colorado's kind of going down that road, okay? I try to talk about those states because, hopefully try to prevent these things, but which starts with making people aware of it, right? Okay, so another state that I haven't talked about, but is now looking to go down that road, okay, of taking things from bad to worse, Minnesota, all right? Minnesota is already not a very good gun state, okay? They're already a bad gun state, I would say. But they're looking to go from bad to terrible, okay? So their bill, SF 1723, okay, this looks to do multiple things, terrible things. This is extreme bill, right? So just to run down some of the main things that this bill would look to do in Minnesota. If you live in Minnesota, really pay attention here, okay? Okay, this looks to create a registry, all right? It's real nice right there. Permit to purchase, okay? As they're trying to do here in Washington. They're trying to do it in Oregon. I think Michigan. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, permit to purchase. Semi-automatic rifle ban, okay? A so-called assault weapons ban. They're looking to raise the age, okay? So they want to take your rights if you're 18, 19, or 20. All mental health screenings, okay? That's be real nice there. Let's see here. Yeah, those are the big ones, okay? So just to name some of the big things, there's other things as well in here. Nothing good out of this bill for Minnesota, okay? So if you live in Minnesota, try to oppose this as best you can. This is not a good thing. I don't know if this will pass or not. I don't know the makeup of, the legislature in Minnesota. They're not a good gun state, though, in Minnesota, so I wouldn't be surprised if this does pass, unfortunately. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because it's extreme, and I often try to talk about states that are, maybe a little more middle of the road, looking to go, down that California, New York type of path. Minnesota is the newest one to be talked about in that, by me anyway. So, gonna move on. Just wanted to talk about this out of Minnesota. Terrible. Okay, last but not least, we're talking about constitutional carry. Okay, we have multiple things here. First, we're going to talk about South Carolina. Okay, so the bill in South Carolina is HB 3594. That's constitutional carry for South Carolina. Okay, this bill did pass out of one chamber, okay, which is good. It passed by a big majority, okay? Now, a bad thing has been inserted into this bill, which is going to be mandatory reporting, okay? So, it'd be nice to get that out of there before passing. If you live in South Carolina, contact your representatives on that. In any case, I do personally think South Carolina is going to be the next state to get constitutional carry. It's going to make it 26, you know, more than half the country. Good thing, right? Anyway, if you live in South Carolina, you know, get on this. You know, contact your representatives, tell them to fix the problems, and then pass it, right? In any case, I do think South Carolina will be the next state to get constitutional carry. I could be wrong. Okay, now moving on from South Carolina, I'm going to be talking about North Dakota. All right, so I was a little bit confused on this. All right, when I heard that North Dakota was one of the states looking to get constitutional carry this year, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? North Dakota already has constitutional carry. Well, turns out North Dakota's constitutional carry bill or law that they already had previously only applies to state residents. So if you don't live in North Dakota, constitutional carry doesn't apply to you in North Dakota. So it's not actually constitutional carry, even though it kind of is. So that's what they're looking to do here, is expand their constitutional carry laws to include all U.S. citizens who can legally carry a firearm. So that's a good thing, okay? The bill in North Dakota is going to be HB 1339 in North Dakota. So for constitutional carry, for actual constitutional carry, all right? And I think that'll probably pass. I would say most likely. North Dakota is pretty pro-gun. It's, you know. So, yeah, I think that'll probably pass. But if you live in North Dakota, definitely let your representatives know. Get this passed, right? Okay, and that's really all there is to say on... that's really all the updates on constitutional carry. I want to talk a little bit about South Carolina, a little bit about North Dakota. Additionally, Florida and Nebraska do have constitutional carry bills that they're kicking around. Florida's has big problems. Honestly, it seems like Florida and Nebraska might drop the ball yet again this session. But maybe not, right? I could be wrong. We just got to wait and see, and hopefully not, right? Anyway, a little bit of an update there on constitutional carry. I mostly wanted to talk about that South Carolina situation because I do personally think they're going to be the 26th state to become constitutional carry, which is great, right? Good for you if you live there or if you plan to visit there in the future. Okay, that's going to be it for this. So I'm gonna get out of here. Well, this has been another episode of The Roundup. I hope you learned something you didn't know already. That's the point of this series. If you want to continue seeing episodes of this series, you can subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see on The Roundup or my channel in general. Other than that, that's all I have this week, so I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye.